All right, let's talk about something we spend most of our lives trying to run away from: failure. I mean, just the word itself is loaded with anxiety, right? But what if we've been looking at it completely wrong this whole time?
No, really, think about it for a second. What's that one thing you've been putting off? Maybe it's a new job, a creative project, or even just a difficult conversation. What's holding you back? Chances are it's the fear of how it might all go wrong. And that question, well, it gets right to the heart of what we're digging into today.
And see, this is the real problem, isn't it? It's not usually the act of failing that actually stops us in our tracks. It's the anticipation of it. It's that dread, those what-if scenarios we play on a loop in our heads. That fear can keep us from growing, from learning, and sometimes from even getting started at all.
So, what if there was a way to break that paralysis? This phrase right here, it's become this kind of modern mantra for resilience. You've probably heard it around, maybe in motivational speeches from people like Peter Dinklage, and it's presented as this core piece of a really tough, realistic mindset. But here's what's so fascinating. This quote, it's not from some self-help guru. It actually comes from Worst Word Ho, which is this incredibly dense, complex novella from 1983 by the Irish playwright Samuel Beckett. So this isn't just some catchy phrase, you know? It's a piece of deep literary philosophy about pushing forward even when you know things won't be perfect. Okay, so let's actually break this down. The first key is hiding in those two little words, no matter. This idea is all about completely changing how we think about failure. It's about decoupling who you are from the outcome of what you do. And this, right here, is such a crucial mental shift. The usual painful reaction is to internalize about outcome. We think, I am a failure. It becomes a judgment on our very character. But the no matter mindset helps you see it as just an external event. The attempt failed. It's an observation, not an indictment. See the difference? It's huge. So if you're going to adopt this mindset, you have to accept a few truths. First, if you're trying to do anything that actually matters, failure isn't just possible, it's pretty much inevitable. Second, the result of one single attempt does not define your value as a person. And third, and this is so important, failure is just data. That's all it is. It's information that tells you what didn't work so you can figure out what might next time. All right, now let's get to the second part of the quote, because this is where it gets really active. It's the idea of not just failing again, but to fail better. This isn't about just passively accepting failure. No, it's about actively using it as fuel. What this does is it turns failure from a dead end into a process, an engine for progress. Think about it. You try something. It doesn't work out. That's step 2, fail. But then, instead of just giving up, you analyze why it failed. You adopt your approach based on that new information. And then, the most important part, you try again. That is the fail better loop. Every single failure is more informed and smarter than the one before it. And this way of thinking leads us to a complete reframing of how we even understand success. We're all taught to think of success and failure as opposites, right? Like they're on two different ends of a spectrum. You're either one or you're the other. But the truth is, they are completely intertwined. You literally cannot get to any meaningful success without going through failure. It's not some detour on the road to success. It's the actual pavement that the road is made of. So, okay, how do we put all of this together into something we can actually use? Well, it takes embracing a mindset that's realistic, that's pragmatic, and honestly, it's way more motivating than just blind optimism. The YouTube source where this quote was highlighted frames it under the hashtag dark mindset. And that's a pretty useful modern label for this whole idea. It's not about being negative or pessimistic. It's about being anti-fragile. It's about finding strength in harsh realities instead of just pretending they don't exist. It's basically the polar opposite of toxic positivity. So, what's our new framework? Here it is. First, separate the event from your identity. An attempt failed, you are not a failure. Second, reframe every setback. It's a lesson, not a loss. You paid for that lesson with your effort, so make sure you extract the value from it. And finally, understand and embrace the loop. Progress isn't a straight line up and to the right. It's a messy, repeating cycle of trying and adapting. And that brings us right back to where we started, but now with a totally new perspective. Look at this question again. It's not about fear anymore, is it? It's an invitation. It's asking, what worthy thing are you going to attempt? What new lesson are you going to learn? What data are you going to gather on your path to failing better? Now
That is the real challenge and the real opportunity.